All right. How is everyone doing? Yeah, there we go. I hope everyone's really excited. Renaissance Man is a big title to live up to, so please don't challenge me too hard on what that exactly entails. We can maybe chat a little bit about baking if you're into bread or patisserie or things like that. But no, cool. I hope everyone had safe travels in. I hope you had a good time at opening cocktails last night. And I hope you're ready and excited for a really fun couple of days here as we dig in deep to what's driving the retail industry and new ways to think about it. Now, I'm pumped to be here because retail is in my blood. This is something I'm very passionate about. I really got my start in the retail side, as John mentioned, back in my Home Depot days. I entered into the workforce agency side like a lot of marketers, and then I had a very misguided attempt at learning, food styling and Photoshop, thinking maybe the creative edges were where I wanted to really dig into. But Home Depot is where I really cut my teeth as a marketer. And the thing about retail that becomes so entrenching is the level of detail that you can go into in this industry that I think in some ways separates it from the other verticals that are out there. I worked in merchandise marketing, first in flooring and then in appliances, and it was my proximity to the merchants that actually most enriched my understanding of how to market in this space. And that's because they put the customer first. They always focused on the customer and the experiences and obsessed over every little detail that changed or altered how they engaged with our product or service. There was a very prominent merchant at Home Depot that had a very famous saying that we all kind of like rallied around, which is retail is detail. Because that's where the separation between good and great really comes to life. Because look, the reality is our customers, they need us, but they also don't because they have so much choice. If you need a basic box of screws, like your options to go get that are kind of endless. And even if you want something a little more niche, like maybe you're in the market for box calf leather, Goodyear welted boots that are made in Spain, that might sound really specific, but if you search for it, you'll find like a whole list of different retailers and brands and manufacturers that could meet that need. Now, I do have to say, like, if you need a TV, maybe to watch March Madness, Kevin from Best Buy is here, and I think he's taking orders in the back. So, that's the reality of the retail space, folks. Like, it is competitive. Every transaction matters, and we really have to get into it. So, as customers have options and transactions continue to shift into e commerce, like Jeff was talking about, how do we manage, right? Challenger brands are popping up overnight, they're disrupting long held markets. Habits and preferences, they seem to shift in the blink of an eye as some viral trend comes through a meme on TikTok or something wild like that, or you see some celebrity wear something interesting and suddenly everyone has to have it. And it's funny because I remember a decade ago when I started an agency that influencer marketing was the hot new thing. It's what everyone was talking about. And yet a decade later, I actually think it's more important now than it ever was as we try to figure out how we tap into customer culture, to their values, to the things that they care about, and who is actually influencing their purchasing decisions. So ultimately, to stand out, it comes back to the customer, putting them in the center. What channels are they spending their precious time in? Where are they starting their purchase journey? What will capture their attention? What do they value? And when we engage with them in one space, how do we draw the tether and connection to another space so that it feels cohesive? Really, we're talking about omni-channel, right? Like, how does digital and in person and all of the touch points in between come together? Now, if you're tired of listening to me pontificate and wax poetic about all of these challenges that you're living and breathing every day, maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the lesson because attention is really hard to capture. And that's what this summit is going to be all about. So let's get into it. As a reminder, everything on stage is fully on the record. A core element of what we do here at MediaPost is journalism. We are capturing content and looking to amplify the stories and the great work of everything that you're doing. But it's also the off the record conversations where some of the most enriching dialogue comes into play. So at noon, we turn the cameras off. We move into our roundtable settings, and these are the formats, the forums where you can really dig deep with your peers on topics that we covered on stage. All right, so what's in store for today? Today, I want us to get a little loose, and as Jeff mentioned, I want us to think a little bit differently, right, about our marketing approaches and how we're communicating with our customers. So you're going to hear from the Ministry of Supply's CEO, Aman Advani, on how his company is meaningfully connecting their brand values to their commercial strategy to better connect to their customer and unlock new sales layers. You're going to hear from a panel of experts on how to navigate the complexities of omnichannel. They'll talk to us about how to leverage channels effectively, how to bridge the gap between our stores and our digital touchpoints, and evolve the customer experience. You're going to hear from Lindsay Kling, SVP of Brand Marketing, Partnerships, and Business Development at Coterie, on how they're breaking into a market that is hyper-saturated with legacy brands using a really sharp retail strategy and differentiated D2C approach. But first, as you finish your coffee and you settle in, I really want you to take on that mindset of how to think differently about your existing marketing strategy. That should be the lens that guides you through the next couple of days. And so to kick things off, we're going to hear about Satva's big bet on video for the year ahead. Now, as the original D2C e-commerce mattress company, thinking differently is in the brand's DNA. And so while many brands are struggling with the exorbitant CPMs that are coming as they pivot into streaming and CTV channels, they're looking at a little bit of another approach that they could take that might have some breakthrough results. And so to tell you about how he's thinking differently about a historically upper funnel channel, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage our opening keynote, the Chief Marketing Officer for Satva, Joe McCambly. Joe, welcome aboard.